This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by the new L'Oreal Paris Bright Reveal Dark Spot Serum and Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Daily Lotion. Dark spots, game over.
So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Judy Diana strikes again.
So now I have a new nickname.
Yes, Judy Diana.
Judy Diana.
Judge Judy Diana.
Yes.
And that would be JJD.
JJD.
Judge Judy Diana is here. I mean, just serving.
As always.
Always serving.
Bringing her A game, as always.
Every Tuesday and Thursday. Not just to America, but to the globe. So, Pumps, what have you had it with?
Okay, what I've had it with was all the hysteria that I received and was around about that emergency test they did to like the public safety emergency test.
On our cell phones.
On the cell phones.
Okay.
So it was so bad that my emergency alert went off earlier when I was in a room with some people and everybody started freaking out. We're going to turn into zombies. We don't have our phones off. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, where were you and who said that?
I was with a group of people at lunch.
Okay.
And all the phones started going off and the Apple Watches. And everybody they were like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's the emergency test. If you get on TikTok, they'll say that it'll turn you into a zombie. And I was like, what?
Are these adults?
Grown ass people.
Are they educated?
Yes. So I look down and I go, it's an officer involved shooting somewhere in Oklahoma, whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about, the emergency test thing? Well, so then I'd been texting with the guy that does our hair, and he told me, you can't bring in your iPhone or your phone to the salon today. Just bring a book. And I'm like, my book is on my iPhone and my book is on my Apple Watch. I'll just wear my earbuds and I can, listen to it off my Apple Watch. He's like, no Apple products in the salon. And I'm like, what? And I don't hear from him. So right after the emergency alarm goes off, he calls me and says, hey, let's just move your appointment for your hair till 1:30 because everybody here is freaking out about the emergency test that's coming. Everybody's afraid it's like a Russian thing that they're going to try to take over your mind, whatever.
Your mind?
Like mind control. And I'm just like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Now I've had it 2 times within 30 minutes. So I text our friend that knows a lot about public safety, and she's like, it's a nothing burger. So then it goes off. It's less than 10 seconds. It's the biggest fucking nothing burger on the planet. And I've lost my hair appointment and been told that I'm going to have Russian mind controlled or become a zombie because of it. And I'm like, this is just how bad ideas trickle down and people actually believe that shit. It's fucking crazy.
So obviously I experienced the thing go off, but I wasn't surrounded by one moron that thought that this was some larger ruse by the Russian government to quote unquote mind control. And these are educated adults.
I mean, I didn't ask for everybody's college diploma, but yeah. And I don't think they really thought it, but they said it was all over social media and they were kind of thinking about it. I mean, so much so that I contacted an official with the public safety department to wonder what the fuck is happening. And then I texted her after it was over and I was like, this is it? This was the crisis that caused me not to get my hair done? And she was like, yeah.
So, okay. So you're with some friends at lunch.
Right.
That are freaked out by this. Cause I knew I read the news every day and I saw that they were testing it just like they do, sirens before we had mobile phones. I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, that's good to know. Silence my phone quickly, move on down the road. Never heard one conspiracy theory about it. Doesn't surprise me because people are so susceptible to believing ridiculous things.
Yes.
But okay, let's move on. So you went to lunch with some, that's troublesome. No disrespect to the people you lunched with, but I can't believe that grown adults would even discuss that. That's even like,
They were saying they saw that on social media. I don't know that they were worried about becoming zombies, but they were talking about there's all this shit on social media about becoming a zombie. And then the Russian mind control. And then my hair guy.
is this a Fox News crowd?
You know, that's a good question.
See, there it is. That pregnant pause tells you exactly
it might be. It might
was
be
the Fox News friends.
It might have been.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then I know my hairdresser and his work.
Okay, I'm about to jump to that.
Okay.
All right, so you had lunch with the Fox News friends. That makes perfect sense.
I don't know that they're Fox News, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It makes perfect sense because we all know that sets the psychological soil to believe
in conspiracy
things,
theories.
that are crazy. Okay, so then we jump to the hairdresser.
Yes.
Did he believe this, or was he following protocol of the people that he works with?
No, he fucking didn't believe that shit, but he was following protocol, what the salon was saying had to be done.
So let me ask you this. Did you break the rules and bring your cell phone and watch in regardless?
No, I just rescheduled my appointment. That's how serious they were about it. Because I said, I'll just wear my earbuds and have it on my Apple Watch. And he was like, no, you can't even have your Apple Watch in there.
This is fucking crazy. Like, people are so susceptible to this bullshit, and it's unreal. Do you remember like Y2K when everybody was losing their fucking minds about that?
Yes.
That was stupid.
Stupid.
This is even dumber than that.
Totally dumber.
You know what it is? It's the black and white thinkers. The Fox News culture, black and white thinkers. That's what it is.
Just one more thing to blame on them.
Right.
So easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I know. Okay. All right. Let me tell you what I've had it with.
What have you had it with?
I've had it with people undervaluing being alone.
Agreed. There's nothing better than being alone.
And I'll see this, like some people are like, I hate to be alone, or, how to fight loneliness. And it's like, I'm dying to be alone.
Dying.
Like, I love loneliness.
I do too.
I love being alone. I love being lonely. I have to have my dogs with me, but people really undervalue how fantastic it is to be in solitude.
Agree. I enjoy my own company. So when I'm by myself, like if all the kids are gone and I have a night to myself, I just find it to be the most therapeutic, do what I want to do. I can walk to the laundry room naked to put my clothes in. I absolutely love it. And I have found, having been married for a long time and now being not married for a long time, that I was lonelier married to somebody I didn't like than I am by myself. And I think I've gotten to the point in my life that I could not live with somebody again. I value my solitude too much.
You know what I like about everything you just said is you said, I enjoy my company so much.
Yeah.
And that, my friend, is why you are the star of the show, because everybody else enjoys your company so much too. And you always say I'm being ridiculous and you're a liar, and that embarrasses me. But you yourself are your own favorite person. So it's not that big of a stretch to understand why Princess Judge Judy Diana, you're a hot piece of dynamite, my friend. Even you
hottest.
dig you.
I dig me. I dig being with just me.
Even you want to be with yourself.
That's right.
So you can imagine how our listener feels when they only get Tuesday and Thursday when I shut my fucking mouth up. They only get little glimpses of you because I'm such a damn yak mouth. Welcome to I've Had It. And I just want to say you are so lucky today that Judge Judy Diana, who loves her own company, is sharing some time out of her trusted solitude to grace us with her presence for this, just hot piece of shit podcast that we have. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She's Judge Judy Diana.
Kylie, when are you going to make her stop calling me that?
I actually saw a really good one this morning.
What was it?
It was Princess Diangela.
I love that.
Judy Diana is sticking though.
Yeah, Judy Diana. Judy Diana is good because it's, if we just go Diana, it doesn't really encapsulate how fantastic you are and what a great legal mind you are for this country. So then if
Such
we
a great
add the
legal mind.
Judge Judy Diana, I mean, that's the whole fucking package, man.
Yeah. JJD.
Yep. JJD. Kylie, what is going on with our podcast?
I've got a really good 5-star review.
Oh, good.
good.
I've got 2 for you, actually.
Okay.
This one is 5 stars, titled Old. I'm so happy to find out that Jane Fonda and Dolly Parton finally made a podcast.
That's so good.
That's so good.
I'm Jane Fonda and you're Dolly.
I mean, Dolly's my favorite.
I know, and you are. Oh my God. The nickname has to evolve. Judge Judy Diana Parton.
How about Judge Judy Diana Dolly?
I'm just gonna might just start calling you Dolly.
I'd love nothing more.
My little Dolly pumpers.
And I can call you Jane.
I just remember Jane Fonda doing aerobics in the 80s.
Oh, for sure.
Because my mom and sister were super into aerobics.
I was so into it.
And my mom would like take me to aerobics class with her, but I was little,
Yeah.
because I'm so much younger than you. And I would do the
Oh my
step
God.
aerobics and we wore the leg warmers.
Got to wear the leg
And
warmers.
like the high rise leotard with tights. I loved it.
Yes, I love that. And remember, she did a couple of videos where you sang during the workout.
What about grapevine? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pony. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
forgot about
7.
the
I love
pony.
the pony
Yeah,
and the grapevine.
the grapevine. That's good stuff
You
right
could throw
there.
some jazz hands in with it.
Yeah, that was
God.
fun.
Aerobics was so fun.
Did you ever have one of the thong leotards?
Oh yeah,
I totally wore mine.
Yeah.
With, of course, like colored tights and the leg warmers naturally.
leg warmers. They've got to come back.
Everything comes back, so they have to at
I
some point.
loved leg warmers.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to get a pair of leg warmers because my feet are always so cold on an airplane. And I would love to just put on some leg warmers on the plane.
You would just be a vision of stylishness
Yes.
in that get up.
Uh-huh. I think it needs to be like an in-flight costume change
Yes.
because there's not enough shit going on airplanes. I think we need to bring more stuff to happen on
Absolutely.
airplanes.
3 or 4 bags worth of shit.
I love that, Dolly. All right, Kylie, what's next?
This one's another 5-star review, titled Annoyed. These women are destroying my bank account. I've laughed so much that I keep having to purchase new underwear. This is absolutely unacceptable that a free podcast is forcing me to spend money. However, I'm still giving 5 stars because Pumps is hot. If you are on a budget, please do not listen to this podcast.
I mean, see, they think you're hot. She's wasting money
Yes.
buying all these new panties.
New panties. What was her name?
QWAZXY.
QWAZXY. I've got a tip for you. Abandon the underwear. Just stop wearing them. I've stopped wearing
But
mine.
then her pants are going to have piss on them. Do you piss your pants? Oh, I forget. You have a high and tight vagine.
I'm high and tight down there. No peeing. No tinkling. I mean, like laughing, tinkling.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I gave up underwear 13 years ago. I've never gone back and I am so happy.
So you never wear underwear.
Never.
What about when you sleep?
I wear pajama shorts.
Oh, yeah. And do you still wear Josh Welch's hand-me-down
Yeah,
T-shirts?
every nightshirt I wear is the Josh Welch hand-me-down.
So is mine.
Oh, yeah.
On and I wear it's like Pima cotton T-shirts from Josh Welch.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
told me the other day he had another pack for us, but I still haven't seen that materialize, but I'm ready for it.
Josh Welch is dressing lesbians for bed left and right. You know what? He should start a lesbian pajama line since you and Kylie like them so much.
Yeah, I mean, they're so soft.
And Anna, that's 3 lesies dressed for bed via Josh Welch.
goals.
I mean, the gifts that sobriety keeps bringing are just infinite.
Pretty soon he'll be a famous pajama designer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up our pre-show. What do y'all think?
I think that was 10 out of 10.
Okay, so listener, we have a guest today that Pumps is incredibly excited about.
Very.
And because Pumps on brand here loves sports.
Loves it.
Not to stereotype, but she is a big sports fanatic. And we have the Emmy award-winning sportscaster from ESPN who recently launched the podcast called the Elle Duncan Show. Let's welcome to I've Had It, Elle Duncan. This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by the new L'Oreal Paris Bright Reveal Dark Spot Serum and Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Daily Lotion. Dark spots, game over. Speaking of games, Pumps, have I told you how much I'm winning on the pickleball court?
Oh, you have.
And let me tell you something. I've been applying this L'Oreal sunscreen, and it is fantastic texture when you're working out. It doesn't like sweat into your eyes. It feels like you have nothing on. And then I'm able to play without being fearful of my skin. And then at night, I'm using this dark spot serum. It is a dynamic duo, much like me and my pickleball partner. SPF is so important, Pumps, because 100% of dark spots are intensified by the sun. The Bright Reveal SPF 50 Daily UV Lotion is a lightweight, non-greasy sunscreen that has an invisible texture, and it primes well with makeup so you can stay protected every day. So when paired together, this derm-validated duo visibly reduces the look of dark spots in just 1 week. Discover the new Bright Reveal Dark Spot Duo. Visit Target online and in-store to buy yours today. I've Had It is sponsored by BetterHelp. Pumps, what's been going on with you? You seem like so effervescent. You seem so rock solid. You seem so sound. Have you been adding or doing anything that I need to know about?
I have been utilizing my therapy from BetterHelp. I absolutely love my therapist. It's so convenient and flexible. It really makes me feel better.
You know, I've used BetterHelp as well, and I have found their convenience and that I'm able to do it from home on my time, on my schedule, so helpful. And then, like this one therapist I had, I didn't really like. I didn't think we were a good fit. I was able to switch therapist at no additional charge at any time that I liked. Listener, find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/hadit today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hadit. Pumps, being a good gift giver is an art form.
I know it is, and I'm not good at it.
I'm going to help you.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a shortcut. Gift your friends and family a set of sheets. Universally, everybody loves a delicious set of sheets.
I absolutely love my Boll and Branch sheets. They are so cozy and comfy. Love sliding into bed with them.
I have noticed that the quality of the Boll and Branch sheet is superior to any other sheet that I've ever had. Did you know that 4 U.S. presidents use Boll and Branch sheets?
I did not, but I can see why.
Princess Diana herself is now using Boll and Branch sheets. Listener, upgrade your sleep with 25% off your first order at Boll and Branch. That's their best offer of the entire year. Just head to bollandbranch.com and use promo code HADIT. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com. Use the promo code HADIT. This is for a limited time only. Exclusions will apply, and see the site for details. Elle Duncan, welcome to I've Had It. I have to tell you that Pumps here is your biggest fan.
Yes, I love watching you on Sports Center, and I always watch Pardon the Interruption, and then y'all are on right after. So I love it. I think you're funny and smart and like hysterical with the shit you and your co-host go back and forth on. I really enjoy it.
First of all, let me say thank you very, very much because, and I don't mean this lightly, I'm actually major fans of you guys. I'm fangirling just a little bit. You guys are my TikTok influencers of my generation. Like, I'm only here for your content. So it's like such an honor to be here, and I can't believe that I'm here.
Oh my gosh, we are stepping up in the world.
We are stepping up in the world. We've got Elle Duncan here. That's Elle
Duncan.
know.
Okay, Elle Duncan. I mean, here's the deal. We have to know what you've had it with.
Ladies, I have had it with the myth of work-life balance. It is such bullshit. And honestly, you guys, I've had it with people trying to make me some poster child for it. Every single time I do an interview, or obviously I'm here promoting a new show that I just debuted, they always want to ask the same thing. How do you balance your children with your demands of your professional work? And I think that it is just this bullshit carrot that we dangle in front of women to make them believe that if they work really hard or try harder or somehow manufacture more hours in the day, they can get it done. But it's not true. You guys, you can't give 100% to work and 100% to your family and 100% to mental health and wellness. The math ain't fucking mathin'. That's 300%.
Right. I totally agree.
Right? Like, it's just, and I don't know that there's a solution other than to just be more honest with each other. You know, I have this mythical work-life balance because I have the money to hire a nanny, because I could look at my husband and go, hey, can you quit your very inflexible job? Because my job is more inflexible and I need you around more. I had 2 parents that retired at the same time and moved 15 minutes up the road and literally are hands-on every single day. This whole, it takes a village, it's true.
Yes.
But guess what? That village costs some fucking money.
It does.
It does. I feel like there's this guilt. I don't know if it's just mothers, but that's my experience, is that I feel like sometimes I'm a shitty lawyer, I'm a shitty mother, and I'm a shitty podcaster all in the same day. Like,
Yes.
You can't be good at all of it all the time. Or sometimes if I have a really super tiring day at work, I'll just tell my kids, because they're older than yours, like, I just need to go in my room and be done with you today. Go feed yourself, go do your deal. But yeah, this perfect, oh, you can get everything right all the time. That's just complete horseshit. You cannot.
It's impossible. And then we like use all of these stupid expressions that also make mothers feel worse. Like, you know, the days are long, but the years are short. And if you blink, then it's over. And like, you know, these are the good days and you can't always be there. But when you're there, be present. And that's horseshit too. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got this beautiful studio, but ladies, if you pan a little bit to the right, it looks like hoarders. Like my life in many ways is a total disaster. And I think we just have all of these examples of mothers who are seemingly like singing and dancing their way through motherhood, quite literally. I don't believe that these influencers actually love, you know, making charcuterie boards for 6-year-olds with like snacks and marshmallows. I think they do it because their children don't appreciate it, because their husband doesn't appreciate it. And they need somebody, for God's sakes, to appreciate what they're doing. I think they're going crazy and they're thirst trapping with their Pinterest boards because they need someone to acknowledge the hard work they're putting in. But at some point, ladies, I feel like you have to just accept what is, which is that your kids aren't going to be particularly grateful for how hard you work.
Right.
They're not fully going to understand why you leave every day. You're not always going to be able to bust it down for your husband whenever he gets an inkling. Like, these things just can't exist. And it's okay to have seasons where you're sucking at all of them or really good at one. And I just think we need to give ourselves a little bit more grace and space to just be like, yeah, no, not being a good mom this week. And that's okay, because I'll try again next week. And guys, that's why they make therapy. I mean, I had a great childhood and I'm still in it.
Yes.
So if I ruin them, like, I'll pay for therapy. I make enough because I leave them all the time.
Well, and you know, I think that people that have like a childhood that is straight down the fairway, good, that's great. But everybody has layers of dysfunction within their childhood, and it's all relative. And we all generationally are passed on some form of dysfunction. And sometimes that dysfunction catches up with us and we have a bad day and our dopamine and serotonin isn't hitting. And I would always give myself permission to say, I'm turning on auto mom right now, which means I'm keeping them alive. Here's your food. Here's bedtime. But I wasn't present. There were a lot of times throughout my children's, like when my kids were really smaller, where I just couldn't be on all the time. I couldn't engage. My husband struggled from drug addiction, and that was just all consuming. And I think that moms need to hear that sometimes you cannot be a 10. I think the biggest misperception about life and motherhood is that we all think we are entitled to be at a 10 out of 10 at all times. And I think that is not achievable or sustainable.
Totally.
Thank you. Like, there has to be space for those of us that are just like, yes, I totally bought my kids' clothes on Amazon and didn't wash them. And maybe they have poisonous toxins. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't go down to the co-op and like grow the cotton in the community. I hope at the end of the day, like, women understand that none of us know what we're doing. None of us fully have our shit together. We're all struggling and putting this thing, honestly, with scotch tape and glue in some cases, and that you're not alone and that it's okay to commiserate. It doesn't mean you're not grateful or rooted in gratitude. And that's why I love what you ladies are doing, because you're hilarious and you're irreverent. And of course you love your lives. And I imagine you wouldn't trade them for all the things in the world and all the things that we say before we're about to bitch. But there's nothing wrong with laughing at the things in life that drive us nuts and having fun together. And that's why I love what you guys do so much.
Well, thank you.
And I also want to point out that if you volunteer to put content on the internet, you're also volunteering for criticism. And so this thin-skinned thing where somebody maybe they're making charcuterie boards, and then women like us make your charcuterie board, but also at the same time acknowledge that sometimes we're like, there's no fucking way I'm ever making a charcuterie board. I can't relate. That there's going to be the opposite side of that where there is some criticism. Is it mean-spirited? No. But do we get to eye roll at each other? Yes, it's human. And so we put ourselves on the internet and we get a buttload of criticism, and it really cracks us up because we have thick skin. So my advice to the end user of social media is don't go on there and put your product out there if your skin is too thin that you're going to have a stage 5 meltdown when somebody criticizes it, because that's what humans do. We're not these perfect, positive people. People have tried to do that. It's not sustainable. I roll my eyes at the internet and the content on it all the time, and that's okay. I want the best for that user, but sometimes I'm like, bitch, please, come on with that.
Right. Social media is not the real world. You can literally unplug from that, right? Like you can walk away and not care that you're getting bullied. I had a take on Taylor Swift. I said her and Travis Kelce were a stunt. It went viral. It was all over the world. Needless to say, the Swifties are unhappy with me. You know what? You know why I don't care? Because I don't see it. Because I didn't log on. Because I don't care. Because I can unplug. Right. And so, yes, this idea that like cyberbullying is something that actually impacts grown people, horseshit. It can't. You can't be bullied as a grown-up. I'm sorry, not on social media.
No, I agree with that, because we get hate comments all the time and we find them entertaining. I mean, we laugh about it, but I'm always surprised on social media, the keyboard courage that people have. Like, no one would walk up to you, no Swiftie would walk up to you and be like, how dare you criticize Taylor's relationship with Travis Kelce or question its authenticity. They just walk right by you, or they probably want a picture with you. But they get on the internet and they'll just spew all this bullshit. And I'm just like, nobody talks like that. Nobody.
Yeah, I call them thumb thugs. They're thumb thugs. You know what I have found? The boldest type of person that I have met in my career is the man who watches with something to say about how you look. And which happens a lot more than you would think. I was at Dave & Buster's with my family a couple of weeks ago. It's like a Wednesday afternoon, you guys. I'm randomly off. I got my 5-year-old and my 2.5-year-old. I'm in full-blown mom gear. I barely brushed my hair that day. It's a miracle that I did, but like, whatevs. And I just see this man. He just keeps staring at me. He keeps staring at me. And I'm like, why does he keep looking at me? And at some point I was like, okay, maybe he recognizes me from ESPN. And so he walks over, not a hello, not a how are you, not a big fan, just walks over to me, deadpan as fuck, and goes, I'm just trying to reconcile what I'm seeing right now from what I see on my TV screen at night.
What a dick.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He was probably a fat ass too.
Like, well, you know, he looked like a foot. I mean, because always the ones that have anything to say are the ones that look like toads. But yeah, and like, it's always that. It's someone that has something to say about your looks, which is really bold. I'm a firm believer. I don't know about you ladies. I'm a firm believer of talk about me behind my back. I don't care. It's none of my business. What you say about me behind my back's none of my business and doesn't impact or affect me at all. So you should have gone to your friends or your group text and said, Elle Duncan, in my opinion, looks like hot shit in real life. Totally fine with me, but why ruin my day by saying it to my face?
Right. What is it about being on TV that entitles people to have an opinion on who you are? That's fascinating to me.
I think that sometimes there are layers of, sexism, and particularly I think Black women get the lowest end of the stick in culture in particular. And I was researching you before we came on here, and I really appreciate a lot of the articles that I read about you, that you really encourage ESPN to hire Black women. And a couple of nights ago, I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher, and I was really shocked at the conversation that I heard on his panel. They were saying that, affirmative action has gone too far. And now everybody's hired all these Black people, and I don't know why they're still talking about this. And I thought, boy, these people are so out of touch. And so if you'll share with our listener, because I think it's important for white people to talk about race, one thing I think is incredibly important is for everybody to realize the raw deal that Black women get in this country. And so if you can share your experience as a Black woman who has reached this success and the obstacles that you've faced with us, I'd love to have that conversation.
Well, thank you for broaching that subject, because it is a good one. And I do think that you have a really great group of listeners who I think want to be allies. And I think the biggest part of allyship is just recognizing what you don't know, asking questions, and not being afraid. I have so many white friends over the last couple of years, as we've been sort of trying to come to a reconciliation in this country, that would say things like, I feel so stupid. I'm so embarrassed to be white. I feel so, and it's like, no one at all is trying to make you feel bad or stupid. You can't help being white any more than I can help being Black. Didn't get a choice in the matter. It's just all about recognizing that whatever your reality is incredibly different for other people, and just being open to listening without having your own opinion, right? Without trying to get someone to sort of see your side, because your side is irrelevant in this. And I think that's the most difficult part, is to ask people for help, because white people have to help. They do, obviously, while also telling them it's not your issue, right? Like it doesn't have anything to do with you. And so I've noticed, at least over the last couple of years, that when I try to speak in spaces, it's important to recognize my own privilege. I am a Black woman, but for those of you that are watching, you can see I am light-skinned. I am what you would call in the business racially ambiguous. You can pretend I am Hispanic. You could pretend I'm mixed. You could say I'm Black, which I am. And so I get used in that same way. So not only do I encourage ESPN to hire Black women, I encourage ESPN to hire dark-skinned women that you can't sort of hide behind racial ambiguity, women who are clearly and unapologetically Black and are dark-skinned, because those women find themselves in even fewer spaces, women that are deemed more Afrocentric. And then the problem we have right now, frankly, is social media, in that we've got social media justice warriors. You tweet something, you say something, and you feel like you've done your part. Like, well, I'm going to denounce what we just saw from Congress, and then that'll be that. That doesn't do shit. That doesn't actually do anything. So we've completely eliminated sort of grassroots, organized efforts and community efforts collectively. And we've just left it at least old people. Young people use social media to galvanize, but old people use social media to get a couple of hot thoughts off and then disappear into the ether and go back to being apathetic. So I would say, for your listeners, for white women in particular, like, we have got to stop looking at each other, that's white women and Black women, as sort of crabs in a barrel mentality. We're in this together, right? And we need white women to speak in those spaces, because you still hold more power and more equity than we do.
Right. Well, I want to say something here that I think is really important. And I think it's important that we continue to talk about it, which is why we talk about it on this podcast. And I also want to say to the people that are in liberal spaces and that are in social justice spaces, sometimes we speak and then it goes out on the internet, and then we get criticism within the social justice community. And I want to advise that if you see that somebody's on your team and they're willing to have these conversations, because it would be much easy for us to just play the white girl straight down the fairway Southern thing and lean into that. But we've taken a great risk in going here and we're on close to 100 episodes here, and we will not back off of this. But when you see people like Pumps and me that are in your space, if we misstep or we do something the wrong way, we're open-minded about it. We're not going to be perfect, but we want to keep making steps to end this. Like, it is something that I feel in my bones as a moral duty, that it is not, when you think about the history of this country and the parameters in which it was formed and how much blood was shed and how we've benefited from that. And women are still, coming along, but I feel in my bones that we have to step up for marginalized groups across the board, that is the ultimate sign of freedom. And any sort of criticism of marginalized groups or trying to control them is nothing short of totalitarianism. And we live in a state where, the politicians here are fucking crazy people. They're nuts. This is abortion ban America. These guys are fucking bananas. You can put that in the permanent record, and we just, it's awful. But in every red state that you all see, and you see that 35%, there are pockets of sophistication in people who care. And so don't write off everybody in red states. Don't write off white people who are willing to have these conversations, because we want to, and I don't want it to drop after 2020, because there has been a backlash from that. And that's why we just keep drumming along. And I felt like we would be remiss not to talk about these things with you and with our listener, because a lot of people have come here because they feel, first of all, they want to bitch about shit, which is always fun.
Right.
But secondly, we all feel, I think, Pumps, me, and our listeners and our guests feel a need to keep this message alive and to make our country and the sense of humanity a more perfect place if we can.
I am so glad that you brought this up, because let me just say this, and I take it the responsibility seriously. Again, when we talk about white privilege, right? Like, you guys have the privilege of, if this podcast does well, continues to do well, it's amazing, then great. If it bombs, then no one's going to go, will they ever give a podcast to two white women again? Right? Like, we have that responsibility on our shoulders. We do. We feel that. Like, I feel like I've got the Elle Duncan Show. Like, if it doesn't do well, will another Black girl get her own show? I don't know. I moved to Boston just because a Black girl had never hosted a sports show in Boston before. So I did that. And thankfully, that network has hired many Black women since I've left. So I do feel that responsibility, but I also feel that responsibility because across the diaspora, we have so many different stories. It took a long time for me to sort of figure out who I was and what I was. And that's why when people say things like, oh, you're so brave, and like, you're so unapologetically yourself. And I'm like, that's because I spent my whole life apologizing for who I was. And I am never doing that again.
Pumps, do you want to share with the listener about all of these fantastic bowel movements you've been having ever since you started the Just Thrive probiotic?
It has made me like a normal pooper with the Just Thrive probiotics. I absolutely feel great.
You know what I've had it with? I've had it with you flexing and bragging about your poops.
I do.
It's made me so crazy that I am grateful that Just Thrive makes a product just for me. And it's a psychobiotic, so that I can take it, so that when you start bragging about all of these world-class poops you're taking, I feel less unhinged. And you know what? It's working. Have you noticed I'm nicer and more supportive of your pooping?
If you say so.
Listener, if you're ready to take control of constipation, bloat, and stress and live your healthiest life yet, you can get 20% off your first 90-day bottle of Just Calm and Just Thrive probiotic today. Visit justthrivehealth.com and use the promo code HADIT. That's justthrivehealth.com, and be sure to use the promo code HADIT. Kylie, I know how social you are, that you're going to be going to all of these holiday parties. Pumps, are you going to holiday parties?
Only if I can find the perfect gift.
Well, let me tell you something. At Loft, they have darling festive finds and merry sweaters, and they have a gift guide. So you can get on there, buy stuff for me, for Kylie, for your daughter, for your mother through their gift guide, and it is launching. Loft has really cute and trendy pieces. I have my eye on this little ruffled blouse, sleeveless, darling, would look adorable under my blazers. Make sure you get that for me. I'll take it in black and cream. They have fun pant silhouettes to choose from, flirty tops, skirts, sweater dresses, and fun outerwear that's perfect for fall. New arrivals drop all the time, pump, so make sure you stay current. As a thank you for listening to I've Had It, use code HADIT at loft.com to receive $25 off your full price purchase. Exclusions apply. See podcast description for terms. Elle, I want to say to you, thank you so much for explaining the way that you explained everything. I think it's just good for people to hear perspectives. And I just really, really appreciate the conversation that you went there with us, because it's a conversation that we want to keep alive and that we want to be allies with and partner with. But we have to have some fun here. And we're going to play our game, Had It or Hit It.
Okay.
Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it.
Had it.
Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Elle, had it or hit it? Outfit of the day.
Ooh, had it.
Had it.
I'm embarrassed of how long it took me to figure out what OOTD meant. Anyway. I was like, what is ooted? I never, and then once I figured it out, I was like, oh God, no, I'm good. No, thanks.
No, thanks. Kylie had to tell me if it makes you feel any better. I'm like, what is that?
What's an ooted?
Okay, had it or hit it? Power moms.
What is a power mom?
Okay, a power mom is the mom that drops their kid off at school and then they go park their car and then they're at the school. They're the homeroom mom. They're bringing cookies.
Bringing brownies
You know what
every
I mean?
day.
It's like going through carpool is just performative. Then they're over parked in the parking lot, fucking tomahawk chopper all over the goddamn school. And then you go home and your friend's like, well, Mackenzie's mom was there all day. And you're like, God damn it, Mackenzie's mom.
I know.
I cannot stand it. Yeah. Like my daughter will come home and she'll be like, oh, today's the summer solstice. And I know because Maya's mom brought us summer solstice seed packs and we can plant. I'm like, what? Who remembers that kind of shit? So I've had it with them for sure. And they're judgy asses because I can never make any of their PTA meetings.
No, totally agree. Totally agree. I hated it when my kids were little, they'd have an assembly on Fridays and they'd keep saying, Mom, why can't you come to the assembly? So-and-so's mom comes to the assembly. So-and-so's mom comes to the assembly. I'm like, number one, I have a job. Number two, if I didn't have a job, I wouldn't come because it's stupid. So have fun with her mom.
It's so dumb. I'm not coming to any of these things.
No.
My thing is.
Also, you're 5. And here's how I feel. If there's a greater than like 80% chance they're not going to remember it when they get older, I'm not doing it. I'm only doing things at this point so that they don't hold it against me.
I agree.
That's a great
And my thing is, we've already been to school.
Right.
The point of sending your kids to school is so that they can go to school.
Yes.
We came from a generation, my mother was not up at the
Never.
school. She never went to the school. And now it's shifted to where the schools are empowering all the parents to be up there all the time. I'm like, okay, this is going to be generation titty baby.
100%. And like, frankly, when we ask you things like, how was your day? We don't really care.
No, we don't. We do not care.
It's like, it's almost reflexive. Like I asked my 2-year-old and he just says the same thing every day. I didn't cry today. Cool. We're good.
Good for you. Great.
Okay. Had it or hit it, softball.
I love softball so much. I grew up a softball player and I have not had a chance to play in a long time. So hit it. I wish someone would come and play with me. That sounded bad out of context, but yeah, big softball girl.
I'm a big softball girl too. And we live in Oklahoma City. So I go to the College World Series every year. OU, of course, is great. So I get to go see them. I mean, like, I feel like the softball players are our best friends. I know all their stats, where they're from. Jennifer makes fun of me. She's like, nobody watches softball like you. I'm like, you'd be surprised. A lot of people do.
Let me tell you, Jennifer, here's a little unknown fact. College women's fast pitch softball is like one of the fastest growing sports in terms of ratings. Every year, the ratings are like insane. I think they grow like 30 to 40% every year. So it is a sport that has become incredibly popular. Pumps is right.
Okay. Speaking of fastest growing sports, had it or hit it, pickleball.
Fuck that. Had it. Keep your pickleball, bruh. Oh my gosh. It's not a sport. And I get it. It's a lawn game, but like we don't give this much attention to badminton. And I don't understand. It's a country club sport. Like if literally your team can comprise of a 1-year-old and a 90-year-old, that's not a sport. It's not. It's fun. It's a way to get people active and moving. But oh my God, this idea that we're on the edge of a pickleball revolution. No, we're not.
Love that so much.
Well, I would take this with a grain of salt because I have very thick skin. I recently won a gold medal in pickleball at a local tournament.
You would have thought she won the Olympics.
I am a gold medalist pickleball champ, but here's the deal. And this is what I want people on the internet to learn. I don't take this personally because I too can laugh at it. And so I also recognize that some people have room to grow and room to evolve. And so
that's not where I want to evolve, though, is to love pickleball. I'm just saying it out there right there. I want to evolve in a lot of other ways. I want to get better in a lot of other ways, but not in pickleball.
I'm just telling you, I'm a champion. Okay. And so y'all can minimize it and ridicule all you want. But
how long, Jennifer, did it take you to become a champion? Like 2-3 weeks of practice? I'm sorry. It's good.
Don't apologize.
So
That's
good.
great. But let me tell you something about fucking pickleball. You can never, ever discount somebody in their 70s that's a little overweight. I did this once. And I got my fucking ass kicked by septuagenarians, if that's the right word. They fucking hammered my ass. So here's the deal. Sometimes old and chubby means fucking killer on the court. That's all I'm saying. And I know that probably lends to your argument that it's maybe not a sport. But we have an obesity problem here in America. So any chance you can get people to get up and fucking move their asses, I'm for it.
I love so much that Jennifer spun this into, this is for the chubby people. Like, do this for obesity. Let's do this in war. Let's rage this war against obesity, one pickleball court at a time.
That's right. That's right, Elle. Elle Duncan, I can't believe we've gone way over time because you are that compatible with
You're
us.
so fun.
Yes.
You are so fun, and it's been such a fun yet serious, then back to fun conversation, as all conversations should be. And I love your cynicism. I love your positivity. I love your pragmatism. You have all the stuff, all the components that I love in a person.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing and exactly what I was hoping, that we would get a little bit of everything. You guys are the best. And maybe next time in person. I know you guys don't drink, but you could watch me drink.
You left us.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we could play pickleball. I could kick your and pump.
There we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would love for you to beat her in pickleball. That would make me so happy.
Well, no, I didn't say that I was good at pickleball. I just said if I gave it 2 to 3 times, I could probably be good. I'll start practicing now.
Elle, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Elle.
appreciate it. Bye, Elle. I mean, if there is ever a guest that has proven what a strong instinct you have for women, it is your choice
Of Elle Duncan.
of Elle Duncan.
She's amazing.
Drop dead,
Drop dead. Funny.
Mensa smart,
Yes.
deep, cynical, yet positive, which are the traits that we like in people. I kind of want to start watching Sports Center.
I know she's great because they have a little banter that they do. It's fantastic. I love her.
And you watch her all the time.
watch her all the time.
God, I loved her. I love this episode.
I do too.
God, this show's getting better and better. It's
And not because of
unbelievable.
us.
No. Listener, if you enjoyed our guest, Elle Duncan, please go give us 5 stars, an Apple review, and leave a voice memo on Instagram. Check us out at the Hot Shit Tour. Join us on Patreon. We do a lot of shit there. A lot of shit on Patreon.
A lot of shit's going down on Patreon.
And
You don't
Pamps,
wanna
tell
miss.
them.
We will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.
Bye, listener.